home, school, and community really are equal partners in supporting the learning and development of our young people, especially when you think year-round and all day. But school, because of the responsibility, the accountability, and the resources that are invested in school, we often think school first, and then home and community sort of pick up the slack. What's happened really with COVID is the immediate understanding that we need that these all have to be seen as partners, and that we have to really quickly understand the assets that those partners have. Every single system has been disrupted. Home, school, community, and community broken down into libraries, parks and rec departments, youth employment, health centers, et cetera.
3 R's that I like to use, and that's build rapport and trust by continuing to have honest two-way conversations. I'll say that again, honest two-way conversations. Transparency is not something that I've always been great at, but you know what? It's very necessary. We must effectively listen to their concerns and then actively help them identify the resources they need. And I heard that from one of the youth, identifying the resources that they need based on where they are in life. We can't push them to where they are not at. So we have to identify those resources that they need based on where they are in life. And we must avoid the infamous, guess what, guys? But when I was a child. Mm-hmm. That is essential. We cannot say, guys, because you know what? I think we immediately shut our youth down. And you're probably going to receive the silent treatment because you simply just made it about you instead of that youth. So instead, we can continue to create opportunities so that we can brainstorm with our youth, just like Townsend is saying. And then another R is I'm huge on recognition. We can start by genuinely celebrating the large and the small victories, y'all, of all of our youth and not just the chosen few. So they may not be a math scholar, but you know what? They can disassemble and reassemble all the malfunctioning electronics around the house with ease. So we have to support and recognize that. And the last one, we must be an example of leadership, but not being afraid to reach. That means that's an action for us, not being afraid to reach. Let me tell you what that means. We empower our youth to be sound leaders and invite them to the table. Now, once they get to the table, Tana, what about this? Reach them the microphone and allow them to lead. I would much rather hear their voice than to assume what they are thinking, because we're going to be wrong most of the time. So that's building rapport, recognize their efforts and progress, and then reach to them the microphone so that their voice is heard.
And one of the things that I always say is we have to validate. And that's something that I would say that the two of you do a great job at. We have to validate our young people. Good, bad, and different, however you want to see it. But when you're working with young people, and again, when we're talking about getting to those outcomes and having those opportunities, the one thing about young people is, unlike us adults, working with them, they can, they don't get too high, they don't get too low on many occasions. They just need someone to champion them, to ally them, to push them. And that's something that is needed. And I always say that our young people are value added. They are they're probably our most valuable commodities.
There's a lot of organizations, I think, of like Connect and other things like that really just target teens. And I think that, we are the future. And so I feel like people realize that and they want to hear our opinions because one day we will be in charge.
Of course, there's always two sides. The adults are doing good things, adults are doing bad things. But personally, I've had adults who have been encouraging me to be included and participate in my community through this. And I've done another thing like this before. And just the adults who are around me, they're always helping, pushing me to do better and just to be included in my community and things.
I think there's a lot of resources and that adults are trying to help us a lot. We just need to know how to look because we don't really know the amount of things that are out there that could help us.
They're going to be there, and I say they're value added, so we can't have a poor mentality as adults. And when I say poor, it's an acronym, passing over opportunities repeatedly. I will say it again, passing over opportunities repeatedly is something one of my mentors always shares with me. And we have to remember that when we're working with young people, just because they're not cut from the same cloth that we may be, they may, they may talk different, they may dress different, they may act different, their mannerisms may be different. We have to always make sure that we can see the youth and the young person in them, the creativity, the ingenuity in them regarding the passion that they have that could push, our organizations forward.
What we bring is not just a wraparound of time and place. What we bring really is a complementary and sort of deeply intentional approach to youth development, which is youth-focused versus system-focused. And that really is what I think we need to be sort of galvanizing